Hey, it's nighttime at Americana. You can see over there, uh, we have the AmeriCorps emblem, which lets you know that there are AmeriCorps members currently here, and I'm sure many in the past. I did not put that up there. So someone else, who I'm sure was great, did. But this is my long delayed VISTA vibe. This is over a month past due. And I realized that in my writing and deleting and rewriting, one of the challenges that I faced was articulating the feeling of current events feeling both surreal and expected, as well as the impact that has on my thoughts as an individual and my service term. And the two current events that I have been thinking about most for the last while have been the shooting at Kroger and the shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, both of which were motivated by xenophobia and racism and a fear of the other. And it's so strange because at this point, they seem like things that just would happen. But then you have to think about the context in which they took place. Build a physical location, a grocery store, and a synagogue. Both of those places, to me, evoke feelings of safety and of home and contentment. I remember being little, going to my mom, shopping at the grocery store. Maybe we'd be looking for dinner. Maybe I would get a snack and go into the car and eat it. And as I ate that food, on many levels, I felt safe. Probably because my body was being nourished, and also just the act of eating, I think, reminds us of so many good times and so many times where we were surrounded by people that we loved. And so to think about going to a grocery store and looking to maybe buy food or supplies for a place that you call home, and maybe that you would share those items with others, and being killed purely for who you are is again surreal, but so expected. Being in a place like a synagogue or any other place of worship or community, where you're surrounded, hopefully, by messages of support and an idea that there's something more than us, that there's something more than just our experience on Earth, but that the universe holds some greater meaning, that we as people can find meaning in each other. I feel like places like that are supposed to be safe. But then again, we can be killed in those places. Not only in the case of the Pittsburgh shooting, because of being Jewish, but because of an idea that these people are supporting waves of immigrants coming into the United States and making white people a minority. This conspiracy, this fear, both in Louisville and in Pittsburgh and throughout the country, that people who have lived comfortable lives are going to experience hardship and are going to become marginalized because others are finding greater equity or are supporting each other. And so that leads me to think about ideas of safety in my own life and in my service term. Again, what can I do as someone who's working on capacity building projects where I'm not really interacting with Americana participants on a consistent basis? I'm behind my computer most of the time. What can I do to make someone here, a participant here, or someone in my community feel more at home for this very brief period of time that I'm here? I only have about 3 months, maybe 4 left. And so it's difficult to think, on the one hand, about things that I can do to make people in this community feel safer. But on the other hand, I want to try. I think it's something that, regardless of the position that we're in, we can try, whether you are working at the Food Literacy Project, or the Backslide Learning Center, or Americana, or KRM, or wherever else it might be. I feel like there are small ways that we can work together and individually to make ourselves and members of our community feel safe in places that they should feel safe, and generally. It's strange to think about places of safety being regarded without second thought as unsafe, when places of support can be invaded by outside forces and completely, even if just for a moment, shattered. I've worried about Americana. I've worried that there might be some sort of acts of aggression targeting us. I worry about what would happen to the participants. Anyone who becomes a target of violence based in fear of the other, and this idea of self-preservation. So in thinking about creating a truly safe space for small acts that might help ourselves and others to feel safer, I also have to wonder, am I thinking these things? Are the thoughts in my mind just to make myself feel better? Am I trying to give myself a pat on the back? The actions that I may or may not take, that I may or may not be successful in? What is the motivation for my action? And a lot of the time, I really don't know. I would like to think good things about myself, but I'd also like to think that that's not the reason that I'm working towards creating a space where people can maybe feel safe, even in the face of all of the news and all of our current realities. And the idea that everything can change in the most unlikely of places, something that seems so unreal has become real. And maybe it's always been real. I'm definitely sheltered. When I visited Pittsburgh on the way back from Buffalo for Thanksgiving break, I visited the Tree of Life Synagogue. And as I got there, as I walked up, I realized that I couldn't breathe. And I broke down. There were some people by me. But I broke down. And as I was crying and just thinking about how did this happen, I had to come to the realization that a large part of my reaction was because I used to live in Pittsburgh, that I walked by the synagogue. I felt like I knew it. And because I am Jewish, that's an important part of my identity. And so I had to come to a realization that my reaction to that shooting might be stronger than some other tragedies, but I can use that as motivation to foster a community here and to extend empathy towards others. I think that this rant, or this is not a rant, it's a ramble, has gone on for long enough, but I think I just, again, want to leave by saying, I hope that some way we can all work together to preserve those spaces that have been safe for us so they can continue to be safe or feel safe again. And that our actions can be based in an understanding of our own limitations, but also with some sort of idealism, some sort of hope that we can move past those limitations and seek out partnerships and find complementary roles to play to create a new reality, to make all these surreal things that have happened not so commonplace.